Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Yekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Phalachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasya Dvirada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamastraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishnadvaipaya Namvyasam Sarvabhuta Hiteratam Vedabjabhaskaram Bande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Janmadhyasya Yataha Anvayat Yitaratascha Arteshu Abhignahasvarat Tene Brahma Hridayaka Adikavaye Mukhyanti Yat Surayaha Tejovari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Sargo Mrisham Dhamna Sveda Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharmaha Prochidha Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam Vedhyam Vaktavam Atravastu Sivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Parairisvaraha Sadhyo Hridi Avarudhyatehe Atra Krutivihi Susrushibihi Tatkshanat Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukha Mukhat Amrita Drava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha Yam Prabrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krutyam Dvaipajano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tan Mayataya Taravaha Abhinedhu Tam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munim Anatosmi Yahas Svanubhavam Akila Sutisaram Ekam Adhyatma Deepam Atititirshatam Tamondhama Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Gukhyam Tam Vyasasunum Upayami Gurum Muninam Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Now, in our last session, we came up to Slokam 19, Adhyayam 4, Skandham number 4. Sati Devi, Dakshayani, Parvati Devi, Lokamata has now attended the Bruhaspatisavam, the Yagam, exalted Yagam, being performed by her father Daksha. She attended against the advice of her husband and Lokapita, Parameswaran himself. This is all Bhagavan's Leela here. Please understand that. Now, when she goes there, she is not welcomed by either by her father or by the people who are present there because they are afraid of Daksha. Only her mother and her aunt and her sisters come and embrace her. Now, in the yajnam, the offering is given, and there is no offering given to Shiva. So then she thinks this is the height of humiliation. She becomes very angry and speaks in a tone that is not only charged with anger, but also her eyes are blazing. And the point she makes, I want you to understand it very, very clearly, that she never talks about Shiva as her husband. When she discussed and argued with Shiva, making a case, trying to persuade him, yes, she said, I'm Ardhangi, I'm part of your body, half of your body. But here, what she says is Shiva is nothing but Parabrahman itself. What are the things she says? Let us review that before we go to Slokam number 20 today, okay? So that it is clear to you. First point she makes is that the one who's a Loka Bandhu, okay, who for all the Jivargal, for all the Pranigal, for all the beings in the whole universe, not only this universe, but the whole universe, both gross as well as subtle, both moving as well as not moving. Everything is alive. For all those, they all love one common entity, the Parabrahman. That is him. That is him. That is Shiva, the one that all the beings love. And for this Shiva, there is no partiality. There is no particular being or a person that is that he likes more, and there is no being or a person or anything that he likes less. For him, everything is absolutely impartial. And not only that, how is that possible? Because he is the Sakala Jiva Antaryami. The Antaratma and the person who is the indweller in which all the things actually indwell. Okay? So that person, to that person, other than you, who will develop hatred is the first question. Enmity, hatred, like that she first asks. Second one, she says, big Mahan from Sadhukar, what do? They never find fault in others. And what do? Even when they see a small amount of goodness, small amount of sacrificial attitude in somebody else, they exaggerate it. They make it very big. That is the quality of this Mahan girl. And whereas for Brahmins, so-called Andanas girls, the Dvijas, who are supposed to be like that, but there are some Brahmanas who do not do this. What do? Even with the most exalted Mahan girl, they find fault. That is what you're doing. Okay? Second point she makes. Then, third one she says, for those who consider this Deham as the true entity, as Atma, this body as the true Atma, those Dushtargal, those evil-minded people, they always develop hatred and dislike towards Sadhukar because this is something that they cannot achieve. Okay? But the Sadhukar, the Mahangar, even the dust from their feet only blesses them. The third point she says. Then she says, the one who's got the two Akshara name, Shiva, with that name is so powerful, even accidentally, unintentionally, somebody utters it, immediately that drives away the sins of that person. Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva. Now, that Namam, this person is the one who's donning that name. And not only that, his commands are inviolable. Nobody can transgress his commands. That kind of a Parabrahman, that is what the Shiva Peruman is. For him, you're using all these inauspicious, cruel words and with so much hatred. What a misery, suffering this is. What an unfortunate thing, she says. Then, the fourth point she makes is, whose lotus feet even the Sadhukar seek and rush towards, seeking Paramanandam, the Brahmanandam, and whose lotus feet grant everybody's desire, whatever it may be. And that entity who is the Visvabandhu, the one who is bonded, all the beings are bonded to him only, nothing else. Now, none of us is bonded to anything in this world because they're all temporary, but a permanent bond, the bondage is only with him. That Sivaperuman, you've developed hatred towards him, enmity towards him, she says. Then further she says, you accused him of being dancing around in the cemetery and with ashes all over his body and wearing a garland of skulls, and you derided him for that. That Sivaperuman, when he dances, the droplets from his feet that fall down, even Brahma and other Maharishis, they carry it on their head. You think they consider that inauspicious? You think they deride it? Yes. Then she continues, and then she says, when this Dharma Rakshakan, this Bhagavan Parabrahman is derided like this by an evil-minded person who cannot control his speech, at that point, who's present there in that place where that happens, he has got only two choices. He can either leave that place, closing his ears, and walk away from that place, or he can cut that tongue that spoke all this. And in that process, he may even have to give up his own, be prepared to give up his own life. Those are the only two choices he has got. One second. So these are the way that she talks. And then she continues. See, with this kind of a person who not only finds fault with the Parabrahman, not only derides it irreverentially, but speaks cruel words, inauspicious words, putting him down because of the attitude that's born out of enmity and hatred. And to you, you've given me this body, and this body has been given to me by you. I have to give this up. Why? Because it is like when you eat a poisonous food, what's the only way to get it out? Is to vomit it, to give it out. Like that. I feel like that. The body has to be given out. And then she says, oh Father, you accused him of disrespecting and disregarding the Vedas and the Vedic teachings, and you thought he was behaving adharmically and all that. You know who he is, he said. He transcends the Vedas. The Vedas originated from him. His breath is Vedas. Vedas talk about only two types of activities in this world. One that you do with desires attached to all the material comforts of this world which have been given to you to enjoy. And if you get attached to it, how should you carry out? The Vedas will describe that. Vedas also teach you how to detach yourself from the attraction of the sense objects of this material world and do your activities that way. So two types of activities, yes. One like a grihastha, a householder who has got to carry out various things in order to maintain the household. The other is a sannyasi who does all the things with absolutely no attachment. But these two are contrary, cannot exist in one person at the same time. But in this person, Shiva, both are not existent because he transcends both, he says. He has no action that needs to be performed, that had been performed, that needs to be performed, or that is being performed. No need. He has no desire that has not been fulfilled or being fulfilled or will be fulfilled. Absolutely no desire. Okay, desireless, actionless, that's what he is. He transcends the Vedas, and you accuse him of disobeying the Vedic commands, she says. Up to that point we came. Then she continues. Then, because 20, I give you the meaning already. Then she says another one. You accuse him of being poor, Dharidra, she said. What? See, Father, understand one thing. What the wealth that we have is something that you cannot have. You don't have. What you have, you do yagangal with a desire in mind, and with that being granted to you, you eat the food, and then yes, you enjoy the temporary things. But when we have complete, all the wealth resides in us. So this is what she says on the next one. Then finally she says, it is like a despicable thing that has happened to me because this body has been given to me, attached to this cruel, adharmic person. And this bad company that this body is associated with, I feel ashamed. She says, I feel ashamed to carry this body given to me by you. She says, when my Shiva, he addresses me as Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha. That's what it means. Till that time, till he addresses me like that, I have a beautiful smile on my face. Then the moment he says that, I become morose, because that only reminds me of where this body has been gotten from. It has been obtained from somebody who has done despicable disrespect, irreverence, and a great offense toward Parabrahman. This body being given to me by that person, and that birth is something that I despise, she says. And then, that is 22 and 23. We will take up now 20. The basic meanings I've given. So do not carry in your head, please. It's so easy to do that Sati Devi is making the arguments, becomes angry because her husband has been offended. It is beyond that. When Bhagavan is offended, when Bhagavan is disrespected, that's what she's talking about. So the attachment, as Bhagavan himself says, with all the things you have to have the attachment solely, exclusively, and totally only for me. This is the final command. We cannot run away from it. We take maybe millions, countless births, okay? And then we might get this, okay? Get this total exclusive attachment without even the trace of attachment to anything that is born of this world, which is what she's teaching. So please understand it that way. Do not think she's talking about her husband. Husband, wife, these are all temporary relationships, appear and disappear. Please understand. And she is the Lokamata. When she says Ardhangi, half of the whole universe. So what she is teaching here, the fundamental truth. Okay? Fundamental teaching. Number 20. Karma pravrutam cha nivrutam api vrutam vede vivichya ubhayalingam asrutam virodhi tat yauga bhat yega kartari dvayam tata brahmani karma na prachati. Karma pravrutam cha nivrutam api vrutam vede vivichya ubhayalingam asrutam virodhi tat yauga bhat yega kartari dvayam tata brahmani karma na prachati. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, I do all the action, but I'm actionless. I'm not attached to the action or the result. Okay, please understand. But if he doesn't act, then everything comes to a stop. This is a very fundamental thing that we got to understand. Okay. Now, the three aspects that he teaches are karma, vikarma, and akarma. Akarma, we got to understand. Bhagavan is the witness, the conscience that is akarma, actionless. But then from there, bound by desires, which are temporary and passing, that they constitute various actions. Okay, never think that I am doing something, you are doing something. It is the three gunas in each one of us, combined with the Panchabodhanga, that make all this play go around. Always remember that. Number 20. So, Vede Ubhayalingam Vivichya Asrutam Pravrutam Nivrutam Cha karmaha. Ritam api. Ritam means truth. So I just gave you a quick sentence in English, but also you understand English meaning. I chose the padangal corresponding to that. So please pay attention. Vede, in the Vedas, lingam vivichya asritam. Asrita means to protect, but means commanded, to accepted, to be given. And vivichya means specifically, in a distinguished manner, in a clear manner. What has been given? Ubhaya lingam, two pathways. One is the attachment, the other is detachment. One is ragyam, the other is vairagyam, we call it. One is all the desires for the material world, material things, which is what most of us have. Okay, that's also specified. Yes, that is right, because for you to go through it to understand, that is the wrong path. So that's also given. Then vairagyam means attaching only to Bhagavan's lotus feet, in which case all the other temporary attachments fall away. So vivichya asritam, which is pravritam, nivritam. Pravritam, nivritam. Pravritam means to doing all the things of this world. And nivritam means doing things that turning the mind away from the temporary things and putting it on Bhagavan's lotus feet. Okay? And going to the permanent thing. So pravriti margam, nivriti margam. The external attachments and the internal attachment. Okay, to the internal, to a kshetrajna. Both are pravritam, nivritam cha, karma, ritam. Yes, it has been prescribed for in Vedanga. Okay, in the Veda, ubhayalingam, vivichya asritam, pravritam, nivritam cha means and karma, ritam. Api, but tat dvayam ekakartari yaugavat virodhi. That, again, I'm giving the padangal. You can look for it in the slokam in front of you. So to understand, api, but tat dvayam, those two, pravriti and nivriti, ekakartari, in one person, yaugapat at the same time, virodhi, not possible, because they are contradictory. Either I reach the lotus feet by embarking on the pravritti margam, which means the Viswarupa Upasanai, looking at Bhagavan in everything I do, the same Bhagavan looking back at me, talking back to me, etc., looking at that way, outside, in the external, everything that appears to me through my senses. Or nivritti, I go inward. I cannot do both, is what the first point she says. And the one person at the same time, it is virodhi. Tata brahmani karma naruchati. Tata, in the same way, brahmani, one who is always established in Brahman. Always established in Brahman. This karma, both types of pravritti and nivritti, both types of attachment and detachment, both of them, naruchati, will not happen. What does it mean? Think for a second. Look at your own, look at your own conscience, so to speak. Conscience is untouched. It has neither pravritti margam nor nivritti margam. It is what it is, right? It's a mind that either involves in pravritti or nivritti margam, not the conscience, not the atma. That is brahmani, that is Brahman. He is that. Siva, he says. That is implication here. That's a message to him. I hope it's clear. Karma pravrittam na cha nivrittam api rutam vede vivichya ubhayalingam asritam virodhi tat yaugapataihi yaugapat ekakartari vayam tata brahmani karma narchati. Now, next one. Number 21. Ma vaha padavyah pitaha asmat astita ya yajnasalasu na dhuma vartvabihi tat annatriptaihi asu bridbihi yiditha avyakta linga avadhuta sevitaha. Maha vaha padavyah pitaha asmat astita ya yajnasalasu na dhuma vartvabihi tat annatriptaihi asu vriddhihi iditha avyakta linga avadhuta sevitaha. And here she says, O Pita, my father, asmat astita, asmat by us, astita, that means attained. What we have obtained, that means she says, like Shiva and I, okay, it's one entity so far as she is concerned, but as one body she is speaking, what the both of us have attained. Padavyaha, the various, Padavyaha here means not position, but what is the position of conscience? Think for a second. Ultimate, total, changeless, complete. That is what she is talking about. Astat asita padavyaha vaha, for you, ma. No, not possible. You don't have that, she says. That means from a Brahman state, you are attached to material things. And she describes it further. Yajnasalasu yaha, Yajnasalasu, in the Yajnasala, yaha, whatever is available, that is what you will get, which are all temporary, she says. That annatruptaihi, that various annangal, various offerings that you take as prasadam and everything else from the yagasalai, with that you get satisfied and go away. That kind of a person you are. With that thing, dhuma vartvabihi. Dhuma vartvabihi means at the point of leaving the body, either we travel along a pathway of light or a pathway of darkness. Dhuma vartvabihi, you're going in the pathway of darkness. Asu vriddhihi, the various beings, after leaving the body, either they go in the pathway of light or pathway of darkness, but you go in the pathway of darkness, dhuma vartvabihi, then what happens to you when you travel that way? Yes, you've done yagangal, yajnangal and all that, so corresponding reward you get, but you travel the pathway of darkness, which means you're going to be born again. But you get the temporary rewards from the yajnangal and yagangal and all you've done. Asuptadhihi, those pranihal, iditaha, whatever they enjoy, the rewards of this. That is what you will get, not our permanent abode. Okay? Avyakta lingaha, na. Avyakta lingaha, that means avyakta means beyond the ability to conceive, beyond the senses, beyond the mind, beyond word, beyond buddhi. Avyakta lingaha, that form, okay, the formless form, Bhagavan Prema, which is beyond mind, beyond the senses, and beyond buddhi also, but very much present, always. That avyakta lingaha, that position, the selfless love, selfless prema, the without reason, without season, without judgment, it is there. That's all it is. It is just, it is, nothing more. And that, naha, it is not like this. It is not temporary. It is permanent. And that state, which is where we are, asmat asitaha padavyaha avadhuta sevitaha, those people who worship Bhagavan Shiva, they attain this position, is what she says in Slokam 21. Maha vaha padavyaha pitaha asmat asita ya yajnasalasu na dhuma vartabihi tat annatruptaihi asubhriddhihi idita avyakta lingaha avadhuta sevitaha. Now, she says number 22. Naitena dehena hare krita gataha deha udbhavena alam kujanmana vridha mama abhuti kujana prasangataha janma digyaha mahatam avadhyakrut. She expresses her disgust with the relationship with her father, the body that has been obtained because of bondage to him. Naitena dehena hare कृतागतः देह उद्भवेन अलम अलम कुजन्मना व्रीडा मम अभूत कुजन प्रसंगतः जन्म दिग्यः महताम avadhyakrut. Slokam number 22. Now, Padangal, so that you understand it quickly. Na yetena dehena hare krita agasaha deha udbhavena alam alam kujanmana. The ku is very important. That means the worst of the worst. We say nicham, the loveliest of the lovely. That's what that ku is, janmana, the birth. Loveliest of the loveliest birth it is. This body, this birth, she says. Okay? Please understand it, the word ku. The aksharam ku. Kujanmana, vrida, mama abhut, kujana, prasangata. Now that you can understand. Prasangataha, their company. Kujana, the loveliest people, their company. Okay? Janma digya, janma dik. Okay? Yaha, janma dik. Yaha, mahatam, avadhyakrut. Okay? So let us take one padangal now, so it's clear. Harehe kruta agasaha deha udbhavena kujanmana yetena dehena alam alam na. She says, that is a quick putting it together so you understand in English. The one you have done great injustice and committed great offense to Sivaperuman, that person which you are and born to you, that this birth is Kujanmana, the loveliest of the birth it is, and that this birth has got this body, Yetena Dehena, this body, Alam Alam Na. Oh, not enough, she says. Get rid of it. Enough. That's what it means. Here, Alam Alam Na means this is enough. I want to get rid of it. That's what it means there. So let us take Padangal at a time. Hare, in Sivaperuman, Hare, Kruta Agasaha, committing offense. Deha Udbhavena, committing offense from you. Deha Kruta Agasaha, offended, taking offensive action, which is what you are. From you is not there, but you have to put it in, because in Sanskritam it's understood, but in English I have to put it in. Deha Udbhavena, the body that has been created, body has been given, has been created and born from you who has offended Sivaperuman. This birth, Kujanmana, the loveliest of this birth, and this birth has got this Yetena Dehena, this body, okay, Alam Alam Na, despicable, enough. She said, this body is enough. Kujana Prasangataha, in the company of cruel, the lowliest people, Mama Vridha, Mama, to me, Vridha, shame has happened. I'm ashamed, she says, because of company of bondage with the lowly people, bad people. Okay? She was it. Vridha, Abhuti means it's happened. Okay, it has happened. So Vridha means shame. Abhuta happened. So I'm ashamed to have this body that has in the company that has been obtained with the company, with the joining, so to speak, produced from lowly people who have offended to the Brahman. Then she says, Yaha Mahatam Avadhyakrut. Yaha, who? Mahatam, great Mahan girl, great people. Bhagavan is the greatest of the great. Please understand, okay? And even though he never considers himself like that, okay? And he considers as the leading servant. But Mahatam, the greatest servant, is the greatest among everybody. And Mahatam, to those Mahan girl, Avadhya Krutu. Krutu means to do. Avadhya means offense, irreverence, committing offense towards all the Yaha Mahatam Avadhya Krutu, those who offend sadhukal and great personalities. Tat Janma, from them the birth that has happened, the birth that has happened from those people who offend and cruel to Mahangal, that janma, dik, it should be derided. It is despised. That birth should be despised, she says. You understand? You have committed great offense to this great Mahan, Srivadarman. And those people, and that is this body that has been obtained from you, it is despicable. It's enough, she says. This birth is enough. Birth is enough, is what she says. Okay? Kud janmana alam alamna, this bad birth is enough, she says. And this thing that has been obtained in the company, with the bondage of loveliest people like you, who have offended and derided Mahangal, and this birth is I despise it. We must all despise it, she says. That's the way she considers her body and her birth. Number 23. Gotram Padiyam Bhagavan Vrishadvajaha Dakshayani iti aha yada sudharmanaha vipet narmasmitam asu tada aham vyutsrakshya yetat kunapam tvat angacham. Okay, once more I'll read for you. Gotram Tvadiyam Bhagavan Vrishadvajaha Dakshayani iti aha yada sudharmanaha vepet narmasmitam asu tada aham vyutsrakshya etat kunapam tvat angajam. Bhagavan Vrishadvajaha, one who carries a flag of tree, Vriksha, Vriksha, they're the same thing, okay? And the Bhagavan, that Bhagavan Srivadarman, yada when Dakshayani iti dvatiyam gotram aha. Okay, gotram means lineage, relationship. Yada when Bhagavan Srivadarman, Dakshayani iti, Dakshayani, dvatiyam gotram, joining with the relationship with you. The word Dakshayani denotes daughter of Daksha. So when he addresses me, aha, when he calls me like that, aha is the next verb. When he calls me yada aha, when he calls me Dakshayani, which denotes an attachment, a relationship with Daksha, with you, tada, at that time, vyapet narmas smitham. Smitham means smiling. Okay, very punnagai. Okay. Vyapeta, leaving it. Vyapeta narmas smitham, giving up the smile on my face. Su durmanaha. I became very sad. I became very depressed. I was very sad. When he calls me Dakshayani, till then I had a beautiful smile on my face. When he did that, reminding me of my relationship with you, okay, Tadiyam Gotram, at that time I become very sad. I suffer. Sudurmanaha. Tat, therefore, aham, I, tvat angajam, tvat, your angajam body, from your body, yetat kunapam, yetat this, kunapam, despicable body, from your body, tvat angajam, yetat kunapam, tvat, your angajam body, from your body, angajam it says, so from your body, yetat this kunapam, this despicable body. Kunapam is like a corpse, useless. Asu Vyutsrakshya, asu, immediately, Vyutsrakshya, I am going to give it up. I'm going to give it up. This body that is so despicable, it has been obtained from you. It has originated, born out of your body. We say DNA and all that today, right? Various chromosomes and all that. Please understand, those are all physical. But because of the joining thing, but this is what I'm going to do. Asu Yut Srakshya. Srakshya means denotes the future. Okay. Also means immediately. So I'm going to give it up. I will give it up. That's what she says. Gotram tadiyam Bhagavan vrishadvajah dakshayani iti aha yada sudurmanaha vipeta nardaspitam asu tada aham vyutrakshya etat kunapam tvat angacham. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Santit Santit